Hello everyone. Well, here's a piece with a little bit of patience you can play at the beginning of your studies. It's called To a Wild Rose. It's by American composer McDowell. It was written in 1896. I'm just going to play it maybe 4 bars at a time and then we'll work on it. Okay, so here are the first 4 bars. So let's do this and we'll learn it 1 bar at a time. So the first thing you're going to have is an A chord, right? So you have an A, a C sharp, and an E, and an A and an E. So left hand is A and E, right hand outlines the A chord, A, C sharp, and E. Right? So C sharp is the first of the group of 2 black notes. You're going to put your thumb on A, your 3rd finger on C sharp, and your 5th finger on E. So right hand goes like this. Right, so it's A sharp and A and C sharp and E. And the next part is an E chord. So here, this would be an E chord right here, E, G sharp, and B. And if we got the E and we took it from here and we put it up on top, it would be inverted. Okay, so now one of the things that makes this complicated is it has voicing. So there are 2 parts to this. There's a bottom alto part that does this, that has to hold, while the melody does. So you can practice that separately too. So the melody is C sharp, E, E, B, E, E, and the alto part is A, G sharp. Now watch what happens when I put that together. Notice that the A is still holding and the G sharp is still holding. So you can practice that. Left hand alone in these 2 bars, A and E, and A, D and E. So the second one's an E7 chord and it's over an A pedal. And this is how it gives you the sound of it both being American. For some reason in the 1890s, this was the American sound, holding the notes. So you get sort of what's called a pandiatonic sound, right? So you have A major, but then the holdover from the A major chord is that A that stubbornly refuses to go away over the E7, right? Isn't that cool? Right? So A and E7 over A. So you can practice those 2 bars until you have it. You can pause the video, and then we're going to go on to the 3rd and the 4th. Okay, so this is an F sharp minor chord. So it's an F sharp, an A, and a C sharp. So the right hand is playing the A and the C sharp, and the left hand is playing the F sharp and the C sharp. Right? So you see if I put all these notes together, it's an F sharp chord. Right? So the right hand does this. It does C sharp, E, F sharp, A. Right? So the same thing's going to happen. We're going to hold the thumb, the altos, or the second violins, while the right hand plays that melody. C sharp, E, F sharp, A. Right? The other thing that was associated with the New World back then was this pentatonic scale. So you hear that? And this kind of reminds you of something, right? Right? Doesn't it remind you of Dvorak's New World Symphony? Which would be this. Right? And you'd have... I can use actually those same chords, and there's a reason for that. This is only 3 years later after that was written, so he must have been an admirer of that symphony. Make a tune that's almost like it, but not quite, right? It has its own sound. Okay, so I digress. We'll go on. So this F sharp minor chord goes to a B7 chord. Actually a B9 chord, right? And again, those 9s, why is that a B9 chord? Because you have a root, 3rd, a 5th, a 7th, and a 9, and that gives you that sound. Right, so let's break that down. The right hand's an A and an F sharp and a C sharp. And the left hand just playing a B major chord, see? So you take a B major chord, B, D sharp, F sharp, and you put the F sharp down here, and that's the chord. Okay? So what I'm assuming is that you're going to pause the video and you can practice each measure. So you can practice each measure, you can play this. Okay, so we have the first 4 bars now, right? We have an A major chord, and then you have your E7 over A. Then you have your F sharp minor chord, and then your B9 chord. Right? So 4 bars. So when you have those 4 bars down, we do the next part. You have a sense of accomplishment? I certainly do. All right, next part. So here's the next 4 bars. The next 4 bar goes like this. Okay, so what exactly are these chords? Well, this is an E9. You hear that 9? So root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. Right? So the left hand is going to be an E and a G sharp. I'm going to do just 1 bar at a time. D and F sharp. You can get the sound of that in your head. Right? It's very pleasant. Okay? So now all you need is just to to get the right hand going, right? So it's F sharp, B, B. Okay, the next chord is a C sharp minor chord. So you have a C sharp, a G sharp, an E, and a C sharp. And notice I'm doing both hands right away on the chords. You can do one hand, you can do the other hand. So E and C sharp, and G sharp. Right? So the melody in this one is just C sharp, G sharp. So that's this measure. And then you go back to the first chord you played, E9, and then an A chord. So A, E, C sharp, A. So bars 5 through 8, E9, I voiced the chord incorrectly, and then C sharp, and then E9, and A. Okay, so here's the first 8 bars. Alright, so when you have that down, join me on this next part. So it's going to start exactly the same way, but it's going to end a little differently this time. So we start with an A chord. So right hand is, see, so an A chord. You can either use the 2. So how is it different? Just that last bar, right? From the beginning, right? You already know this part from the first part. So the first 3 bars are the same, and then that's different. What about the left hand? Well, it's exactly the same. Same thing as before. But it's exactly the same as before. Right? It's just there's a G sharp in the melody instead of. So it's just that one little slight difference. F sharp minor, and then we just have G sharp. You can even practice the 3 and the 4 of both phrases, right? So the first time you do, so you see that F sharp, and this second time you do this. Isn't that beautiful? Just that one little difference, and such a beautiful nuance. Okay, so let's go on. When you have that down, so this is bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, bar 13. Bar 13. So it's going to be this. We're going to do the next 4 bars. So let's do this answer. Because some of it is a repeat of before. Okay, so this chord with the 6th, right? So again, it's like that pentatonic sound, or the A6 chord. So why is it an A6? Because A major would be A major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hear that? There's your F sharp is your 6th note, right? So left hand is E and C sharp, A octave. And then C sharp minor. So C sharp minor, C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, E, E. And then your E9 again. You know this from before. Right? An A major. A, E, C sharp, A. Okay, so let's do our second phrase. This is our second 8 bars, right? So you've just played 8 bars and then you start again. And then you have all the same until G sharp, and then A major 6th, C sharp minor, and then E9, and then A. Okay, great. And then next part. It's just an E7 chord. Right, just an E7 chord. But it resolves to a D chord in first inversion. This is just the diminished 7th chord. Did you hear me resolve that? I have a C sharp in the melody, so we don't know what chord that is. What is that chord? Well, it's this chord. And did you hear that resolve? So this is a diminished 7th chord. F, G sharp, B, D. And then this chord is an A. So those are four chords in this bar, right? So E, D, F diminished 7th, A. Let's go over the individual notes. So right hand is E, G sharp and E, B, D and D, A, C sharp and D, B, A, B, E and C sharp, E. Left hand is B and D, F sharp and A, F natural and G sharp, and then E, A, and C sharp. So all together, E7, D, F diminished 7th, A. Okay, and then here's our next chord. It's an A major 7th. It's an A with a major 7th. Right? And then an A diminished 7th. So let's play this next bit so you get this in your ear. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're just going from A to a diminished 7th chord and then an A. Right? So then this G sharp is the major 7th. That gives it a little spicy outdoor, I don't know what you want to call it, but. So let's do individual notes. Right hand is A, C sharp, G sharp, and then A and B sharp. You can call it C if you want, G sharp, right? It's really B sharp. So G sharp, F sharp, E, F sharp, back to the first chord, which is A, C sharp, and G sharp. So that's all we're going to do in this part, right? We're going to go from this to this. And then we're going to do this again. Left hand is going to go E has a melody. E, C sharp, D sharp, E, C sharp, D sharp. So here it is together. I can do it slowly once. Okay, so that's that part. Going on, next bit. So I'm just doing the right hand alone, right? So what is this? It's just an E7 chord the whole way. A couple nines thrown in, but you see it's all one chord, right? So we're gonna plane up this chord a bit. So it's B natural, D, G sharp, and then B, F sharp, D. So we're gonna go from here, B, D, G sharp. So you have to practice that a bunch of times, just doing this. And then, so this next one is the chord that you just ended on, but then you're gonna have an F sharp and a G sharp together in a D. And then here. Notice my elbow is just gonna move a little bit like this, right? So we have G sharp, B, and F sharp, B, and D. And we're just gonna pivot just a little bit. So let's do this whole right hand. It's just an E7 chord. So when you have that down, you can do the left hand, which is going to just go up the E7 chord. So if you can find this E7 chord and find all these notes, you're not going to have any other notes other than this in your melody. So it's E, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, B, B, D, B, D, B, D, and together. And you're going to play kind of strongly as you start this, forte, and then getting softer, and then fading away and getting slower. Okay, so that's all that part. Let's go on. So now the main part comes back. You know this from the beginning. So you know that it's that's the first 8 bars of the piece just repeated there, right? Okay, so now it's going to depart again. So what's going to happen there is you're going to have what is going to be a pedal tone in the left hand, right? So let's do the left hand first. So what sounds so different is that you're going to have this A drone going over all your chords. So whatever you're playing, right? So it's A, E, and B, and then this A ties, and then this B is going to move while this is still going, and then you're going to play F and A, and then E and A, but the A holds, right? So you have to practice this tying, right? Tying means the note holds. It sustains, but it doesn't play again, right? So E, A, and B, A, E, and B. It's a little bit above an octave, right? So you find the octave and one note more, and then hold the A, and play the top A, and then play the A again with the F, and then play the E while holding the A. Right hand, G sharp and E, and then D sharp, D and A. So F sharp, D, A, A. So first part, G sharp, and then you're going to move down to F sharp and D, right? So G sharp and E, D sharp, D, A, A. And then D and C sharp. C sharp. Right, you've played this before too, the bottom of page 1, that happened, right? So it's the same right hand as before, it's just the left hand's different. All right, so you know this already. So pay attention to the left hand. Right, so it could be F sharp, but instead the F natural comes from the minor. Right? So that makes it sound a little more melancholy, right? So watch if I played it with the F sharp. Here's the F sharp. Wrong note, right? This is not the right note. But it's legal, right? He could have done that. But instead he does ah, right? F natural. So you want to color that F natural when you're playing that, right? So here comes the F natural. Okay, and then that's going to repeat. Right hand. So the F natural is now going to go into the right hand in this next part. And the left hand is going to do this. So you were playing E and A, right? Now the E is going to tie, and then you have to reach a C sharp. And I can't quite reach it. Yeah, I guess I can. So here's an A and an E and a C sharp, C natural, B, A, G sharp, F natural, E. Alright, so while the right hand does this, this C is going to tie from the previous bar, then you play the A, D sharp, D, A, C sharp, B, A, B, C sharp, E. So let's play this whole second part. Let's play the whole thing together on this, where the left hand starts to hold the A's. And pay attention to the left hand, right? So A, E, and B. A and A. Here's our spicy F. Right? And then I'm going to do this with the middle pedal. Did you catch that? So what I did was, right about here, where I'm having this, I'm playing this, right? And right about here, when I get to this A and E right here, I use the middle pedal of the piano. If you have a middle pedal that just holds notes. Now see? Now, these notes are going to hold because I have the middle pedal down. And I could play anything else and it's not going to hold in the pedal. Now, reason for that is, now when I play this, that A is going to hold without me being able, because I can't reach it. And that A is going to hold that whole way. Alright, does that make sense? So now, here we go. I'm going to play this whole passage. No middle pedal yet. And right here, middle pedal. Okay, and then the piece is going to end. So here's the next part. It just repeats that. And then you have this chord. What is that chord? You have a D sharp, an F sharp, an A, and a C sharp. It's a D sharp half diminished. This would be a fully diminished. This is a half diminished. So you have a diminished chord here, all minor thirds, D sharp, F sharp, A, and you have a dominant seventh. right? And then it's presented to us in this inversion. And it gives us this beautiful nuance. And then E7, E, G sharp, D, E, and then A6. And that's the end of your piece. Okay. So let's see if we get our middle pedal working. And we're going to do all of this to the end. So there's our half diminished, E7, E6. All right, so now shall we play through the whole piece? So you're going to practice bit by bit by bit by bit, and then you'll be able to put things together. After you do bit by bit, you do 2 bars, and then you do 4 bars, and then you do 8 bars, right? You don't always practice from beginning to end. You start at the end and you go backwards. All right, let's do it. Let's see what we have. F sharp minor, B9, E9, C sharp minor, E9, A, and then we have pianissimo. And then we have crescendo in our G sharp. And E7, pianissimo. Remember, that's just all an E7 chord, and then you have the beginning. E7 over A, F sharp minor, B9, E, C sharp minor, E9, A, and then our A is going to hold. And our fancy F, natural, middle pedal. A major, D sharp, half diminished, E7, A9, and then you just hold the chord. So I hope you have fun practicing. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.